a disclaimer. You know how like Apple has like the terms and conditions. My terms and conditions wasn't down here, and like modify mine was up here. I read it out loud with a microphone. Yeah. Normally, so he's the only one that I gave those chances to. Yeah. Because any other person, even my friends, would be like, my male would be like, yeah. Because they know me to not deal with that. Yeah. Yeah. But with him, I really wanted like.
Good morning.
This is my person. Yeah. But I wanted him to be my person, but he wasn't my person. However,
I shared this video on the community page. It's a very interesting discussion. I recommend listening to it.
That's why so many men cheat. So many husbands cheat because they didn't marry their type. They married, their Barbara the Builder, but they didn't marry their type.
They married their Barbara the Builder.
Don't even like them as a type. So many women are obsessed over men who don't even obsess over them. So I wanted to talk about this because so many people keep asking, how do I get him to pay attention to me? How do I get him to come back to me? How do I get him to fall in love with me and obsess over me? If you don't do that naturally, move on. You ain't the type. Point blank, period. As the youngsters say. Okay? If he ain't doing that naturally, why are you wasting time? That's like trying to get in a car and get it to fly. It's not going to happen. Stop and go move on, okay?
Good morning,
Stop
good morning.
Trying to complicate it. It ain't that serious. A lot of women have to stop doing this. And a lot of other women have to stop allowing other women to sit there and talk about these things with them. Because y'all are just wasting time. Okay? And so you should be a good friend and say, I love you. But it's just maybe you're not his type.
I love you, but maybe you're not his type.
Find someone else.
Find somebody else.
You need to do. It does hurt, and sometimes we don't want to hurt the people that we care for. But they're going to end up hurting themselves even more in the long run, costing you time, energy, and money. So go ahead and nip in the boot.
Ladies, here's why most men are cheating on you today. This is going to be a long one, so hang tight. Number one, you don't respect these men. You treat these men like they're your children. Very disrespectful. Number two, you always got to have a lesson. Number three, you think that you're right about everything. Number four, you're self-controlling. Number five, you don't provide any peace in the household for a man. Number six, you're not even messing with your own man. And you always create some type of argument on purpose so you don't mess with him. Number eight, you don't want to get pretty for your man. You walk around with a bonnet on, but yet, anytime you go to work, you make sure you look your best. Anytime you're going out with all the 304s you hang out with, you make sure you look your best. But when you're with your man, you just, you're putting the effort in. What am I on, number 7, 8, 9? Let's just say number 8. You're going on girls' trips. You on a girls' trip with a bunch of women. I know if I was with you and you went on a girls' trip, I definitely would be smashing somebody else, probably my neighbor. That would be so simple. But this is why your men are cheating on you. This is why your men take a long time to come home. They just want to have peace. And as soon as they walk in the door to see you, they know there's nothing.
You know, the wild part is 90% of the time, the men create the environments for the women to act this way and push them away. It's like this weird cause and effect. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like they both manifested.
Your secretary at work or your neighbor or whatever.
Your secretary at work, your neighbor, whatever.
Your sanity. These women are always talking about men need therapy. They need therapy. They're the ones that really need therapy. So I advise you, man, just to do whatever you got to do to make yourself happy. She's doing what she got to do to make herself happy. So keep smashing and dashing. That's right.
Wow.
Keep smashing and dashing.
Seven of Swords.
This important one. You always on your phone. You're always on social media. You're always in everybody else's business.
So are men.
You spend more time with other people's business through a phone.
So are men.
With the man that you live with. You spend more time on the phone with everybody else like that don't care about you, don't love you, nothing, than you do with the person that you are in a relationship with.
And vice versa.
If your husband cheats on you and you forgive him, I think that you're a very very emotionally mature person.
No, it has nothing to do with maturity. Let's stop.
No, it's not because they're stupid. It's not because they don't know their worth. On the contrary, some women have bigger battles that want to be won.
Why are we like this? It doesn't have to be like this. Men don't do this. When was the last time you've seen a video of men giving advice on how to please women, how to keep their wives, or how to behave when they cheat? This is a little embarrassing.
Right?
And the responsibility
There are no men's videos about that.
Fall on us.
A woman cheats and a man's like, oh, you gotta leave her. She's just, it's a horrible situation. But like, men cheat on women and it's like, oh, you need to stick it out and forgive him, and oh, it's your fault that he did it. And it's like, okay, well, what about when she cheats? Is that then your fault, right?
If you've been married to a man more than 5, 10 plus years, especially as a woman, our priority shifts. Our main focus now is our children. Our main focus now is our retirement plan. Our main focus now is our career and how we're going to advance.
There it is. The cost of the survival of the relationship and the well-being of the family is you. What she's saying is, you're not a person anymore. You're a wife and a mother. That's about it. You are not at peace. And they know it. They can feel that.
Moms want the best for their kids. They want them to go to college.
I love the way this stuff smells. I'm gonna make more of it.
Which are valid reasons to stay in a relationship.
And if there are second victims in this issue, you are the problem.
The quality of love that you were giving him is never going to be the same. I know it sounds extremely cold, but it's absolutely doable. Because instead of thinking with this, you're thinking with this.
Oh my God.
The value of being wifed up has been blown out of proportion to the point where women will take anything over being single. Now, don't get me wrong. Whether or not women leave or are able to leave is heavily...
It's because society has programmed us that we can't survive on our own. And the craziest part is, it's actually so much more peaceful to be alone than to be with the wrong person. Sorry, I'm hot. It's a rainy, overcast day, and I'm hot. I'm just hot. It's just the weather.
Going to our 16th, a decade and some years into our marriage, I had a motor accident. So it put me down for a year. And my wife had to be there for me. 3 months into the accident, I realized things was very difficult. And so she has to stay home and take care of me. And she agreed to stay home and take care of me.
So you got in a motorcycle accident, your wife was taking care of you. 3 months in, she pays for somebody to come in and care for you, and you cheat on your wife with the woman that she's paying to care for you through your accident. And if a woman does that to a man, oh, hell breaks loose. It's because women aren't viewed as equals, we're viewed as property. And when your motorcycle breaks down, you bitch about it. But the motorcycle isn't allowed to bitch about the rider riding it too hard or treating it like garbage or not servicing it, not taking care of the paint job, not fixing the upholstery. But the problem with that equation is we are not property. We do have voices. We are human beings and we are equals. I am not your property. Yeah, you're not my property either, Elijah, and I'm not your property. We're both human beings and we just care for each other. Right? Yeah. What? Cars don't care for each other? Yeah, because cars are physical property. Oh, my hair's bothering me.
However, I have shared this multiple times. Most men are likely to leave their wives during a time of chronic illness. That is the truth.
Yeah, like when wives get sick or when they have like a really horrible pregnancy or even just waiting the 6 weeks after you give birth, Oh, well, she wasn't taking care of me and I didn't, what else was I supposed to do? Oh, okay. Your property malfunctioned, so you went and got a new, your microwave malfunctioned, so you went and got a new microwave. What? She's not a fucking microwave. She's a human being.
Upon the diagnosis of a chronic illness. However, the likelihood of a wife leaving her husband when he's diagnosed of a chronic illness.
The likelihood of a wife leaving a man with a chronic illness is 2 point something percent, and a man leaving a woman with a chronic illness is way higher than that.
Because the Ghanaian culture, the African culture, and even more globally, the concept of caring for family members is made the responsibility of women. Providing care for family members have been feminized, such that
Has been
it is perceived
feminized.
that women are the ones who can naturally take care of their husband when
Why
he's
is my
sick,
robot
or children,
malfunctioning?
or even elderly family.
I need to get a new robot. I need to get a newer
Because of this gender
model.
orientation, most men are likely to abandon you as a wife during chronic illness. Even in
Most
Ghana,
men.
you don't have to get a stroke like in the case of this woman.
Come on,
You are pregnant, your husband is already cheating and has another woman. You have malaria, you have catarrh.
Yeah, you don't even have to be sick for him to be cheating on you. You could be totally
And I'm not
fine.
saying this because, I am bitter towards men. This is the truth. Most men will abandon their wives upon chronic illness or upon a severe health diagnosis.
And they don't want to leave their wives. They don't want to get rid of their property. They just want to acquire more property. I don't want to sell my first car. I just want to buy a second car. This is a property thing. You know?
For sick family members implies that is made the responsibility.
I saw it. It was beautiful, Bridget.
So this is to all the women. Please make sure you are building healthy, loving relationships with your own family. Make sure as a woman you do not abandon your close female friends when you get married. Because some of you, the moment you become married, oh my God, I'm now married, and then you distance yourself from your close female friends. Keep your relationship with your close female friends and have a positive and a good relationship with your own family. Because when you get married and you develop a chronic illness, it is possible, it is highly possible that your husband will not provide care and you would have to rely on other family members and close friends to provide care.
Yeah, he'll probably end up kicking you out or
Are
leaving.
selfish, self-centered, and they always choose what is in their own best interest. A man can marry you in Ghana and in Africa.
Now, here's my question.
And if he finds another,
How is it that, like, the majority of women and men these days are raised by single mothers? Even if the mothers are married, usually the mothers are the ones raising the future generations. So how is it that these men are still growing up with this idea that women are just property? Is it because how? Right? Oh, mom does everything for me. You know, are we treating our daughters and our sons so drastically different? Like, girls, you need to learn how to do laundry and dishes and, you know, please your husbands. Are we teaching this so young and we're teaching men, oh, don't worry, you've had a long day. Oh, it's okay. I mean, do we do that? Or is this like societal? The shows that they watch, the friends they hang out with, the school, you know, talking. I mean, how is this still so prevalent? And the fact that it started to like deprogram, you know, Smarty Girl said programming. And the fact that it started to deprogram, right? Like women were starting to like get put in equal position, you know? I recently saw a post by a woman and she's like, have you noticed that there are not like medically based laws or laws in general that vary state to state? There's laws state to state that vary for women and their rights, but there are no laws varying state to state. This is an American thing for men. Men have all their rights, but women don't have rights 100% to their bodies. They don't have 100% rights to their marriage practices. Like they're trying to reduce the age of legalized marriage to like 15 or something like that. And there was a guy arguing the other day, and I was watching this. You should have seen his eyes. They look like a fucking demon. And he's like, well, you know, 200 years ago, a 40-year-old man and a 15-year-old wasn't taboo, but today it is. And it's like, okay, just because it was legal didn't make it right. And ask that 15-year-old 200 years ago if she appreciated being thrown into a slavery situation with a 40-year-old man. Now flip-flop those roles. How would you feel if you were married off as a child to a grown-ass adult and you were expected to be their slave? And if they beat you, it was okay. So there are laws right now trying to like unwind all of the efforts that have been placed in society to try and help women and children. Like in Europe, like the UK, and they have this thing where there's this Sharia law that's going. It's like a separate legal system for a particular cultural group, and women and children can be married off. 9 years old, there was a wedding, and a girl died the next day because of sexual trauma. But it was legal because they're operating on a totally different legal system where women and children are property. Like what? Oh, women and children need to be protected. Yeah, by who? Not from each other. Not usually. Very rarely. You know, only if there's like severe mental disorders do you need to be protected from other women and children. Normally, you need to be protected from grown-ass men. Post-pubescent men. Because instead of learning how to structure society in a way where pubescent and post-pubescent boys and men have the ability to process out that energy in a healthy, productive way, we don't give them any tools. And then it turns into taking out that aggression on the people in the household, taking out that aggression on people who are weaker. Oh, I have all this sexual rage and frustration, and I'm going to just be a sexual tyrant with children. In some cultures, it's bestiality, like animals. It's like, oh my God, they definitely can't consent. I was watching a documentary where these guys were passing around goats, and I was like, oh my God, what am I watching here? So the largest group of humans that have the least amount of self-control are in positions to control everyone else. Men should be parliamentary leaders, they should be presidents, they should be the kings, they should be the, Okay, why is the group with the least amount of self-control in the most positions of power, with the most resources? That doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of these female child predators are being coerced and controlled by masculine people. They're being groomed. A lot of these women are being groomed as children to become predators as adults. What are we doing? This is not a natural state. This is not a natural state. And, you're like, oh, you're calling it a religious thing, but it's not religious because it's all the religions. They're just using religion as an excuse to get the women on board and the other men as an here's your excuse. It's religiously ordained and sanctified and protected. And the women are like, oh, well, if God says and it's in the Bible, or if Allah says and it's in the Quran, or if Yahweh says and it's in the whatever. Last time I checked, I've never seen God physically come down with a pen and paper and write anything. Everything that has been written by men. And it has been enforced by men. You can say it was divinely guided. Okay, great. But guess what? You could say the same thing, write a bunch of stuff on paper. And if you get a bunch of people to agree with you, then you win. Look at John Smith. He just wanted to be a fornicator and an alcoholic. And he created a whole organization. The funny part is they're all anti-alcohol, but it's, probably because look at John Smith. And the crazy part about Mormons too is that they own a lot of they own a ton of they own a lot of businesses that they're not supposed to be partaking in. like soda companies, gambling, casinos. They own like most of Vegas. At least they did 5-10 years ago. We are all property of something or someone. Well, that's because that's how it's been structured, but it doesn't have to be that way. This structure is so septic that the stronger it gets, the weaker it gets. And there are no such thing as good old days in the patriarchal society. There's no such thing. The 50s might have been aesthetically pleasing, but most people were alcoholics and drug addicts. You know, you look at medieval times and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. Why can't we go? There's a lot of really horrible things that were going on. You know, hey, Bridget, bye. Have a nice day. Yeah, but your car is a piece of property. It's a physical, tangible object. A human being is not. And God did not give us the right to own each other. Man did. Right? Anyway, so I just went on that tangent because it just seems to be like an overriding theme. And I wanted to discuss it before I turned it off because I was listening to it and I was like, man, you know. So here we go. We got King of Swords. And it makes you think, well, man, if I get married, what's the point of being faithful? You know, the only reason that you should be getting married is to have a safe unit, right? But if somebody else is stepping out on you, they're bringing the possibility of disease into the equation. They're not even telling you that they're doing this, right? So then it's no longer a safe, cohesive unit because not only now are you cheating on somebody and bringing the possibility of sickness and disease and emotional issues and financial issues and mental issues and physical issues into the family unit to the wife, but you're also doing it to the children. If you go out and cheat and you get some crazy disease and you bring it back to your wife and she doesn't know and you don't tell her, and let's say the kid gets a cut on a scrape on his arm, or the mom gets a scrape or whatever, and the next thing you know, the really horrific, deadly, lifetime long disease goes to your children because you were a fucking psycho. Same thing with women. You're cheating on your husband. You don't tell him what's going on, and you bring in some crazy disease and you're bringing it into your children. It's like there are more STDs floating around married households who refuse to get, you know, okay, so you're grown enough to go cheating, but you're not grown enough to go get tested. What? What? I'm staying for my wife and my kids. Okay, but you're bringing in a potential death into your family unit. So what are you really doing for them? It's not. It's you're doing it to yourself, for yourself. STD isn't the worst thing you can get. What about the soul ties? As well as what if that person on the side is a psycho and turns around and blackmails you and or starts assaulting your family or starts bullying you into, like, people are really dumb. You know? Like, why? Anyway, let's get into the reading. Hey, is that juice spilling? It better not be. Thank you, sir. Now I see here is the eternal resurrection card. At least that's what I look at it as. You know, the cycle of death and rebirth, and that can be situational as well. You know, the old version of self is gone. The new version of self has risen, right? And you know, this could even be like we're talking about infidelity. This could even be like somebody who is super skanky, man or woman, right? And you get to a point, you know, maybe they were very sneaky and they lied a lot and they, you know, went behind people's backs. And that old version of themselves dies. And they actually step into a self, a version of self that is honest and open and forthright and forthcoming, right? Hey, let me be honest. Let me be faithful. Let me be respectful. And that is a possibility. People think, oh, tigers don't change their stripes. Okay, but this isn't, we're not talking about tigers and stripes here. We're talking about the human character and condition, and people can change. Is whether or not you want to change. And it also can a lot of times depend on the environment that you're in. You know, if you're in a very cold environment and you're trying to get warm, it's going to be a lot harder for you to maintain heat, right? If you want to be, you know, if you want to have integrity and morals, but you hang out with a bunch of people who say it's okay to lie, cheat, and steal, and they're constantly doing it, it's kind of hard to change and adjust yourself. So one of the first things, if you start to find yourself adjusting and changing, one of the first things you have to do is you have to change your environment. Okay, well, I want to be different. I want to be this way or that way. Maybe your family is all about, you know, fucking around and dicking around, doing nothing, being lazy, throwing parties. And you're like, but I'm really studious and I like the house quiet at a certain time and I like to study and I want to get a couple of degrees and I want to, you know, hello, welcome in, everybody. I haven't said hello to anybody, I don't think. Sorry. Hello, everyone. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to be a serious student in this house when my dad is hiding my study books. My mom is constantly interrupting me. My siblings are always being super loud really late. You know, like, how can this is not an environment for me to change, you know? And then you start making adjustments. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to spend most of my day out at the library. And when I come home, I'm going to I'm going to put sound reducing things in so I can sleep properly. And I'm going to spend most of my time out of the house. And the more you change your environment, the easier it is to change what's going on within yourself, within your mind, within your heart, right? This planet is a school. And argue with me all you want to. The only people that are truly, really arguing with me on that is anybody who doesn't want to grow. Oh no, we are just what we are, and we just stay how we are, and it's just it is what it is. No, that's devil energy. That's devil energy. The devil tied to what we're doing to ourselves is something that we can remove ourselves from. We don't have to be holding that bottle. We don't have to be crawling on that ground. We don't have to do any of those things. Just because my father abused my mother doesn't mean I want to abuse my husband or mean I want to abuse my wife. Breaking the cycle. There is this Everybody Loves Raymond clip, and the boys, Raymond and his brother, the big guy, and then the dad. And then they're like, the dad was saying something about like how his grandfather beat his great grandfather beat the shit out of his grandfather, and his grandfather beat the shit out of his dad. And his dad beat the shit out of him. And the boys, Raymond and the brother was like, but you didn't do that to us. You never hit us. Why do you think that is? You know? And he's like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I didn't want to be. It just didn't, it made me sick. Like I couldn't do it. You know? And that's breaking generational curses, right? That was going down through the generations. It would only be expected that he would beat the crap out of his two boys and that the two boys would beat the crap out of their kids. But instead, they turned into a really loving, silly, happy family unit because the dad made a choice and said, no, this isn't passing down. I'm cutting these ties. You know? This planet, and I was listening to Brahman's Code Tarot this morning, and she said something really powerful that I agree with. And she's like, not everybody agrees with me, but I believe every soul that has made it onto this planet is so blessed. This is the learning place, and every soul that's entered this planet, it has a soul purpose. It's just a matter of whether or not you wake up to what your soul purpose is. This is the learning place, and I agree. This is the learning place. This is school. Not everybody starts at the same grade level because we come back and hopefully we graduate to the next level. Sometimes people have to repeat, just like in regular 3D reality, right? If you fail first grade, you got to do first grade again. If you pass first grade, you can go to second grade. If you're really good and you're like one of those prodigy kids, you could skip a few grades. You could be like Doogie Howser being a doctor and finishing your, going to prom at the same time. Spiritually speaking, it's up to us how we do it. And the more powerful your purpose is, I believe, the more difficult, challenging, and potentially most likely trauma will befall you, especially in the beginning of your lifetime. And maybe throughout it. Because you don't give 1 + 1 =? You don't give those tests to a calculus major. You give really difficult calculus questions to a calculus major, right? The 1 + 1s go to the kindergartners. So if you watch people skating through life and you're like, man, why is that person like nothing seems to be affecting them and they're just floating through life and everything's handed to them? It's like, okay, but you're a calculus student being jealous of a kindergartner. Check yourself. What are you jealous of? Honestly, what are you jealous of? Oh, I wish my lifetime was so simple and easy. Okay, well, if you're watching this channel, I have told you guys a million gazillion times, and I'll tell you a million gazillion more. I don't help everybody. I prefer to heal healers. Every single one of you is a healer. Every single one of you has been through some really effed up stuff. Most of you who I've spoken to on a one-on-one have either been through family stuff, relationship stuff, health stuff, financial stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff. We're all the stuff. All of the stuff. Like me, I've been through like a little bit of everything. It's like a surprise party bag. Just a little bit of everything.
Hey there, kitty, don't you feel remember that your friends are here?
That's a great song, Elijah.
No, it makes every kitty
Every
kitty be brave.
It does make every kitty be brave.
Uh-huh.
It does. Face your fears, right? So, we have the constant death and rebirth card here coming out. We've got the King of Swords. Can we opt out? Because I'm tired and I don't want no more stuff. No. I mean, you can. You can just sit out the school year and then you'll have to repeat, or you can just flunk out and be a tree for a few centuries. I know I've done that. I could feel it. When I was little, like when I was a kid, I physically had memories of being a tree. Like I know what it fucking feels like. I know what it feels like to be a tree. And I know what it feels like to be a fly. I was one creature that lived hundreds of years and I was another creature that lived 2 weeks. Right? And it was fascinating to remember. It was a memory. I mean, it was like I was recently these things. It was like I was kind of dicking off before I came back for another really challenging lesson. They call it, what is it, a leaving year? I don't know what they call it. Holiday year? I don't know. But after you finish secondary school, which is high school, in here, usually a lot of the kids tend to go traveling for a year. They go hostel hopping, they go working in other countries for a year and just stick around for a year. And then they come back and they decide where they want to go to school and what they want to do with their lives. A lot of people do that. Some people, they don't go back to school until they're like 30s, 20s to 30s. My friend didn't go back to college until she was in her 40s after a divorce. And she graduated. And you think it's hard to go to school as a 20-year-old. Imagine going to school as a 40-year-old when you haven't been to school in 25 years because she had to leave high school early. And she accomplished it, and it was hard. And I'm sure she wanted to give up a few times, right? I quit school a couple of times, and I went back to school a couple of times, and I finished a couple of times.
Gotcha.
It's up to you.
Gotcha.
It's up to you. If you want to take a time out and you're like, okay, God, you know what? I don't want to help anybody right now. I don't think I've done enough lesson learning. I need to take a break. Free will, everybody. It's been written into our genetic structure. We all have free will. Now, whether or not we are forced to succumb to this kind of stuff, hold on, puppet mastery stuff, right? Of society or our spouses or family members or friends or whatever, or work or job, our bosses, right? Well, that's another story. But we are free agents. We are free creatures. And we can decide not to participate. Now, does that sometimes lead to, if you don't do this, I'm going to, and it's like, if you really don't want to do it, okay, end my life then, because I'm not doing that. Right? We do have choices. They're not always good choices. Sometimes they're really shit choices. Sometimes they're really shit choices. At the end of a war, you've got these military guys running around. I can either grape you and slice you open and kill you. I can grape you and keep you around as my slave, or you could kill yourself and then I don't even have an opportunity to come at you. And they're horrible choices. There are no good choices in that scenario. Some people choose to try and survive the situation and keep their lineage going and suffer through the trauma. And some people are like, you know what? There was this one short video of these, and there's a powerful Indian, I think it was a movie. And it was a snippet of this movie, and these gorgeous Indian women garbed with all their gold and their beautiful saris, and some of them are women. They're with child, they're pregnant, they're with children, they're elderly, they're young, they're all ages. And the elder, she lights a giant bonfire thing, and they all start running into the fire because they know that the guys who won the war are coming for them. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the specifics of the movie. I just know that moment in the movie, because I watched it over and over, and I was like, oh my God. And they chose death, but they had a choice. You have a choice up until you don't have a choice anymore, and the choice gets made for you. And even sometimes then you have a choice. It's not always a good choice. Sometimes they're really shitty choices. But we have free will. Yeah, here we are. We're still alive. We're still kicking. We're still fighting through all the trauma bullshit. Okay, so we got King. I'm never going to do this. It's 40 minutes in. This is kind of how it goes. King of Swords and Queen of Swords, believe it or not. We got the World card here. But this World card is about possibilities, right? The possibilities of a new beginning, the possibilities of going somewhere different. We got the Devil, addictions, right? The Ace of Wands. So this could have been sex addictions, right? And then we've got the Hermit card over here, introspection and transformation. No? Introspection and enlightenment. It's kind of like transformation as well. It's spiritual transformation. And then we've got the Seven of Swords, and then we have Six of Pentacles. And sometimes people have gone through so much traumatic stuff, and you're like, man, they should be an awful human being after that. And you find out that they're still donating and giving and sharing and giving people opportunities and chances, and they're still being kind and seeing the silver lining. And it's like, man, are they thick in the head? Are they stupid? And it's like, no, they're just stronger than you. Just because I don't speak on a lot of the stuff I see doesn't mean I don't see it. I'll give you a specific example of when I was working in the prison. And I have some views about how I think prisons should be changed. I think like they have cigarettes that are allowed in prison, but I think they should allow weed for all of the prisoners if they want it. I think they should. Just allow everybody, if they want to be a stoner, they should be able to be stoners. You forgot I was a prison guard. I don't look like what I've been through. I'm telling you, I don't look like, and that's why I'm like, I tell you guys, you know, my homeless experience and sleeping on the concrete, literally here in Cork. A few weeks ago, I was walking with I was walking, and I pointed out the spot where I was actually sleeping on the concrete. And I wasn't even expecting to pass that spot. And here I was walking, and I was like, hey, that's the spot where I slept. Right there. Right there. You know, I don't look like what I've been through. Because I do the shadow work. You know? And that's why I do these videos. That's why I do YouTube. This is why I do the lives. You know, it's not just to bitch about algorithms and my haters. Although that's fun too. You know? Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Most of you guys have been through some really crazy stuff, and it's like, you don't look like what you've been through. Why? Because you're doing the work. You're doing the work to maintain your character, to maintain your soul. You could turn bitter. You could turn cold. Maybe some of you have for a time being. I know I did for a little while. You know? I know I did for a little while. And pulling yourself out of that is a huge feat. You know? Now, this King of Swords and Queen of Swords, it looks like they both have been through some stuff, right? They both have been through some stuff. They've both battled some heavy demons. One of these demons looks like a sexual addiction. One looks like... This looks like a weakness or like a controlled thing. Like one person, a lot of things were done to them, not for them, right? So there's different kinds of traumas. There's traumas that we put on ourselves, and then there's traumas that other people place on us. So it looks like there's one person who's been through a lot of trauma that they've placed on themselves, and there's one person who's been through a lot of trauma that has been placed on them. And it's led them both to a state of hermit, which is introspection and coming to a state of enlightenment about everything that they've been through, right? And the Six of Pentacles is the last, little card in this little series here. We also have the Strength card here too, right? And the adjustment of the scales, which is strength in itself, right? Balancing the scales. Imagine someone keeps putting rocks on the other side of the scale, trying to weigh your heart down. To be able to balance that scale out is extremely difficult. And this has been done through death and rebirth, right? No, I'm not going to stick in this situation and allow you to continue to control and manipulate. No, I'm not going to stick in this situation and put myself in positions where my addiction is going to win, These are people who have made massive changes. And yet they're still able to give and receive with grace and dignity, Like, I need you to look at this, look at the giving and receiving in this card. He is down on his knees, receiving from somebody who's smaller than him. If that man kneeling down stood up, he'd be towering over that other guy. Could even be his son. And maybe the kid on the ground is the grandson, right? You don't know what the situation is. But to be able to lower yourself, no matter how big you are, to receive, even like this is like receiving from somebody who's nearly physically lesser than you. You know, maybe even receiving from people who are spiritually lower than you, physically, financially, whatever. You're receiving something from somebody lower than you. It's like you guys, you know, maybe there's some of you in here who are extremely financially gifted. You're extremely, you're gifted in the family department, or you're gifted in the friendship department, or you're gifted in whatever, right? And you're here taking a lesson, you're receiving from me. And I am not financial. There are some things that I don't have, right? But the one thing I do have, I give freely. You know? And for you guys, it takes humility and grace. And also for me, it takes humility and grace, right? I could be humiliated by the fact that I have to request help from people, or I could be humbled and very appreciative to receive when I do receive my gifts. And this transcends generations, right? Nobody here is frowning or being beaten down, or that person is on their knees willingly receiving. Please, please. I am here to receive. I am in the receiving position. And it's teaching the little kid, hey, this is what giving and receiving should feel and look like. It's breaking generational curses. Elijah, you're my blessing. I love you. Do you know that? Hmm? Do you know that? Yeah, my best friend. I love you. Aw, fishy.
Because feel him.
Yeah, he's probably still chilly willy from that ice pack you put on him. Remember?
But actually I need one more ice pack because they're supposed to be cool off.
Okay, then put the other ice pack back in the freezer.
No, but a rocket ice cream is much more cool. A rocket ice cream is much more cool.
You know what? Go ahead, because the sooner you eat them, the sooner they're gone, and then you're not going to have any more ice creams left because you will have eaten them all in a matter of days.
Yeah, but I can't put this in the freezer because the door is locked.
Oh, hold on, guys.
See, look in here. It's locked.
Yeah. Now make sure you close the freezer all the way, please. Promise? Promise? Close the freezer all the way when you go and use it. Okay.
Side.
Yeah.
Side.
Go on. Any of you have been following for a little while, you know I've been trying to redo the flooring in here, and it's taking ages. So I don't know if you can see, but you can see the gray is where I've done, and the red still, well, the red I'm still ripping up. So we're getting there. It's still a disaster in here because it's like every time I clean it up, Elijah's like, I love chaos. And by the time I'm like, you know, finished a section of carpet, I'm exhausted. Like underneath the bed is flooring. I'm waiting for more. It's a slow going process because I don't have the money to just buy all the flooring, you know? So I'm having to do it in little sections. So when I get a donation, I buy a little bit of flooring and then I do another little section. So I have this weird, like, sneaking feeling. I'm like, you know, when I finish this flooring is probably when I'm going to get an opportunity to leave. It's like I'm going to finally have the room the most beautiful, perfect way that I could have it. And it's going to be like, hey, it's time to go, you know? Like, that's how life is, man. Just when you get comfortable and there's a devil twice. This is abusive. This is what I was talking about. I said one person was doing it to themselves and the other person was having it done to them. Look at that. The yin and yang of devil energy. One was receiving and one was just doing it to themselves. No comfort for me. There ain't no rest for the wicked, and money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, and ain't nothing in this world for free. I waited all my life, something, and I know I wish I could. But there ain't no rest for the wicked until I close my eyes for good. Behold my latest invention. King of Wands. King of Swords, and now there's a King of Wands. And the Queen of Swords. Lock the door, baby muffin. Did you close the freezer all the way? Did it shut all the way, baby? Promise? I have to ask every single time. Here, baby. Here, put this on your tray, please. Your rubbish. Here, put that on your tray. It's somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure. So, giving and receiving. The King of Wands. There's a King of Wands with the Queen of Swords here. What's that about? Ain't no rest for the wicked, money don't grow on trees. Oh, it's a new path of happiness. So, okay, you know how they say, oh, you've got a soulmate or a twin flame and all this stuff, like a twin flame, and you're working through, and not all the time do you end up together and blah, blah, blah. Remember, not all of you will remember, but a lot of you will remember, I gave you guys a diagram, the frequency diagram. Let me do it again. Hold on. Let me do it again. Hold on, let me find a pen. Ain't no rest for the wicked, money don't grow on trees. Got bills to pay, got mouths to feed, ain't nothing in this world for free. Ow! I know, it's crazy. Okay. I love you, Elijah. Okay, let's draw the frequency pyramid. Okay. Okay, you ready? I know I didn't use the right thingy for it, but let's do this. Ready? Here is the image that I was trying to show you a bunch of times before. Actually, here, let me turn this here. Okay, so here's where the majority of people start. Here's kindergarten, right? And then you go to like primary school, and then secondary school, and then university. And then here's like master's level or doctorate level, right? So you got the frequency of your increased frequency of how you put in your work to heal and to elevate. Now down here, everybody's hanging out. There's loads of options down here, right? Loads of options. These are the kind of people that swipe right and they find, they're dating everybody. They hang out with everybody. They got loads of friends. They're just like totally super popular people, right? They're vibing at a frequency that most people are vibing at. So there's lots of options, right? And if you've got a twin flame or a soulmate or whatever down here, it's easy to find a match. It's easier to find a match for sure, right? Then as you start doing your shadow work, your internal work, your mental work, maybe you start going to school again, you make big changes in your reality. And your frequency starts to go up. And now you're kind of operating differently. The things that used to excite you, like going out partying or going out dancing or drinking or whatever, like this kind of stuff, it just, watching videos of people being punked, whatever. It's like just swiping right or left or I don't know, whatever. All that kind of stuff just doesn't do it for you anymore. You're at a different level. You're like, I'm really more interested in hanging out with people who like to talk about, who want to work on making movies or who want to go on. Maybe you like hanging out with people who like to take trips and stuff. So your type changes. And now there's like twin flame soulmate stuff going on at this level. And you find your vibrational match here. Now, sometimes people here will drop down. Sometimes people here will go up, right? Sometimes people here will just stay here for their whole lifetime, right? They find a soulmate, they settle down, they're just totally happy vibrating at this frequency. Now, what happens if you raise your frequency even more and you're like, I no longer want to watch movies on the couch. I want to make movies. I'm just giving that as an example, right? Now, all of a sudden, you start researching and studying and hanging out with different kinds of people, and the soulmate, twin flame, people you were operating off and learning with here no longer match your vibration. Now you're up here, and there's less and less people, right? And notice how it's not always an even number. Sometimes it's an odd number. Sometimes it's a frequency where you're going to be alone. Right? Sometimes you're going to find a match at a particular frequency and sometimes you're not. Now, the higher up you go, the harder it is to find a match. There's very few options as you go higher and higher and higher into frequencies, right? Pretty soon, you're just vibing with yourself. It's just duality of self at some point, right? Like you see like the Buddha and like master yogis and shamans and things like that, and they get to a certain level where they're not even able to find a match because there's nobody like them. They're the only one, and if they try to date or marry or have like super close friendships or family or whatever, they're gonna have to reduce their frequency to spend time with them or to be with them, right? And that's why sometimes you'll see people and you're like, man, you are an amazing human being. What are you doing with that guy? Or what are you doing with that girl? Or, whatever. And it's like, well, what were their options? They're vibing up here and the majority of people are down here. So what are their options? Even if they date here, it's still going to look like they're dating beneath themselves, spiritually speaking. Right? So let's say the King and Queen of Swords, let me just show you with images. Let's say the King and Queen of Swords, right? They were energetically matched down here. And they were both dealing with their own version of this. And they fought these demons, this devil energy. They fought this off, cleared it out. I love how it's actually contrasting colors. I love Bridget's artwork. Even fuzzy, it's still like phenomenal. And then here's the King and Queen of Swords, and they're dealing with their demons down here. Now maybe they both work through their demons, right? And they both level up, okay? But now this has introduced a new option, the King of Wands. The King of Wands is at that next level with them. And he is looking at the Queen of Swords like, oh, nice, right? And maybe this King of Wands, he's all about the happiness. When he walks in a room, he's just smiling. He's just really fun to be around and hang out with, right? It's a different way to be in the new frequency, right? And this option comes in, and it's like, oh, uh-oh, now what? Now the King of Swords has competition, right? With the Queen of Swords. Now it's funny because I was saying from the beginning you have more options down here, but that doesn't mean you have more quality options, right? What's an option down here? You might not even find an option. And then you raise up to the next frequency and you're like, oh, there's more people that are similar in nature to me. Like the example I gave of the person whose family likes to party and be lazy and do nothing and be mean and make fun of people, and maybe they're gossipy or drama or whatever, and the kid is just like a little book nerd. Oh, like Matilda. Remember the movie Matilda? And she is just super smart, and she's got like crazy, like weird super skills. Like she's able to be, I think it's like telekinesis or telekinetic. What's the one where you can move things with your mind? She gets angry and she moves things with her mind. She's totally different from her family. She's getting books at the library every other day. Her parents are like, "What are you reading for?" Like, that's weird. At some point, when she finds that teacher, Miss whatever her name is, the really nice, sweet one, that's like an energetic level up, right? Her birth family is down here. The teacher is here, and she's able to level up with that teacher, right? And it's like a breath of fresh air. Oh my God, it's amazing, right? It's a new level. Once she's able to physically move out of that family, that toxic family, and move into a healing, healthy family. And if she continues to raise her vibration, and maybe she meets, like if the story would have continued and, shows her as an adult or whatever. I don't know. I'm making shit up now. But you see what I mean? And then let's say somebody in her family decided to level up too. But the teacher is just like this whole breath of fresh air. She's been operating at the higher frequency for longer. So this King of Swords now has massive competition with this King of Wands. And the King of Wands is just a happy, happy guy. I just see happy, happy, joy, joy. He's just a happy guy. He worked through his devil energy long before the King of Swords did. So now the King of Swords has competition. Uh-oh. And the Queen of Swords is like, ooh, she's looking up. Look at her. She's looking up. She's not looking down. And she's in the clouds, and she's not looking down. She's looking up from her cloud. She's on a cloud above clouds, and she's looking up. That's this. That's this. Here's land. Here's the clouds. She's on her cloud, and she's looking up. And this is a world of possibilities. A world of possibilities. So, death and rebirth. Okay, let's check it out. Now what's going to happen? Ooh, generational curse breaker. And we were talking about that. I love this card. Bridget, you are an amazing artist. I love this card. Generational curse breaker. I love this. which leads to 9 of Cups. Now she's alone there, but you don't know who's in that car, or in that mansion. Right? She looks alone. She's celebrating alone. But I don't know why I've never really thought about it this way, and I've been looking at this card for half a year now. I never really looked at it this way before. But what if there's somebody in the blacked out tinted windows of that yellow fancy vehicle, and they're watching her just be happy with herself? You know? Generational curse breaker. Wow, how did you do that? You don't look like what you've been through. Oh yeah, so I was talking about my why was I talking about the prison? For some of you, you know that I was prison guard last year I went through like 5 months of training, and I ended up only doing 3 months in the prison. Not because of the job, just because I had to go somewhere and do something. I ended up over here. And those who know, which is fine. Put that on your tray. You don't need to hand that to me. And no, you can't have another one. I already know you're going to ask. Okay, throw it in the bucket over there by the door, which is the trash bucket. We're still working through everything in here. It's still crazy. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so I was... why am I talking about this? I was mentioning something about not saying everything that you see. And I can't remember why. But I was actually thinking about this moment this morning, so I feel like maybe I should talk about it. I was walking in the prison, doing my rounds, and the leader of the Hispanic group, because there's, gang leaders, right? And there's one that was a leader, and he was on a particular run, like this run of bunk beds. And he was in the very front of it, and they had their backs to all the guys, but their front was to me. And they're used to the guards not doing their job, first of all. But also, second of all, they'd probably be used to me writing them up, getting them, taken out of the run and doing all this and that. And I watched them do, like they were doing some sort of drug deal or something. I don't know. He was exchanging something with, in hand. And it was small enough where it was like, it's not a weapon. It was some sort of drugs. And I'm watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, and they're looking at me like, oh no, we got caught. Like that was part of the thrill of it all. And I just smiled at them, and I just shook my head, and I walked away. Because first of all, my job is a glorified babysitter. Are you alive? Are you beating each other up? Are you dead? Okay. Second of all, I know what homelessness feels like. And if I had drugs, I would have been doing them, because it is an awful, horrible situation. And if you're stuck in prison for a long, long time, like some of these guys are in here for like forever. This is their reality. This is their world. And I'm just not, I don't care. Are you hitting each other? Are you hurting each other? Are you killing each other? Are you raping each other? No? No? Okay. Are you inciting violence or rebellion? No, you're just hurting yourselves? Okay, I don't care. Hurt yourselves. I don't give a shit. I mean, unless it's like, physically cutting you up and, you end up in the bathroom, obviously, then you gotta, medical conditions I call immediately. I have no intention of, and I saw it, but I didn't see it, And even if I did say something, by the time I got around to reporting them and getting them and doing all this, the stuff that they were moving hands of, it would have been gone. And then at that point, it's a write-up. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't remember the guys' names. Like, I just was like, the guy that looks like the other guy. And there are other guys in there who looked at that like that needed to be extremely monitored. Like that was the biggest deal of all. And it's like, okay, well, maybe for you, that's the biggest deal of all. But it wasn't a big deal for me. You know, you look at here, hold on, let me show you. Where's the double energy? You look at this double energy. This is the kind of double energy I report and I call out and I would squash. This kind of double energy, I'm like, dude, you're in prison already. Where are we going to put you? Usually it's like, oh, you do something illegal, we'll put you in prison. Okay, well, you guys are already in prison. We already know you break the law. It's like you're already where you're supposed to be. Like, you're not out on the street, you know? Yeah, now y'all are just hurting yourselves. Whatever. Like, my perspective is different, you know? I don't know why I was talking about that, though. I have no idea. But I've done that in my personal life, too. You know, walked in on people doing stuff, and I'm like, I just close the door and walk out. Unless there's somebody that's getting hurt from that. That's external to the situation. And I'm like, you need to tell him or I'm going to tell him. You know? Then, yeah, I get involved. But if you're just hurting yourselves, that's like, do you... Because I've said something before and I became the bad guy. I was in college and one of the girls was vomiting so badly. I was like, she needs to go to the hospital. Like, she came back so drunk. She needed to go to the hospital. She would have died on the floor in the bathroom. And all the girls in there were so angry at me for calling the paramedics. And I said, well, you know what? You go ahead and be mad at me. But I'm not going to have her death on my hands. Because I saw what happened. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, she's under 18 or under 21 and she's drinking. Oh, I'm going to go report you. It's like, you're about to die on the bathroom floor. I'm calling to get you to stay alive. If you didn't want to be ratted out for being an underage drinker and potentially lose your scholarship, well, then you would have been slightly more responsible about your drinking habits. And if you wanted to die as an alcoholic, you wouldn't have come back to the dorm where I could have called the paramedics on you. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to call the authorities because you're underage drinking. I'm going to call the authorities because you're about to die. And I'm not going to participate in watching that happen. You know? I don't know why that's relevant. I think sometimes people look at me and they think, oh, she's just like a goody two-shoes or she's a narc. You know, she'll rat us out or she'll tell on us or whatever. And it's like, well, it depends. What are you doing? Are you hurting others? Then yeah, for sure. I am going to narc and rat you out for sure. Are you hurting yourselves? Well, then rock on, buddy. Are you on the verge of death? Okay, then I'm going to call the paramedics. You know what I mean? Like, I have my own weird code of conduct, but people can't read my mind. They don't know what my code of conduct is. You know? Found out my aunt was identity thieving my cousin, her son. Taking his identity, opening up credit cards, paying him down, open up credit cards, doing this and that with his name. And I told him, and everyone was pissed at me. You should have stayed out of it. You should have stayed out of it. Well, she's hurting him. So yeah, I'm going to tell him. If she wants to hurt herself, I don't care. Do whatever you do. You start hurting other people, yeah, I'm going to fucking rat you out. Hell yeah. Oh, I trafficked drugs. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't explode in your stomach. You're a dumbass. Oh, I'm trafficking people. Oh, okay. Authorities, this motherfucker. I will rat you out. I will try to figure out how to block you from leaving. I won't let you go anywhere. I will mess up your life. And I will make it my reason for living and dying to mess up your life if I find out that that's what's going on. But if you're just doing stupid shit on your own self for yourself, I don't care. I don't care. I would make a horrible, I would really make a horrible government employee. You know, like, well, I did.
That's a bad word!
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say a bad word.
You said stupid.
When? Did I say stupid? I can't remember.
You did say stupid.
Well, now you're saying it.
And
You just said it twice.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you just said it.
Yeah, but we both said it.
In the context of doing what the government wants me to do, I would make a horrible government employee. In the context of being a decent human being, in a position of power, I did all right. You know what I mean? Strength and compassion, 5 of Pentacles. Strength and compassion, 5 of Pentacles. You know, sometimes when you go through this happens for you. You become strong, and you also become really compassionate for what other people are going through. Right? If you've never been through anything like this, and you've just been on top of the world like this your whole life, these kind of people who've never been through this are the kind of people who say homeless are disgusting, get them out of here. You know, oh, drug addicts are like, what a horrible decision. It's like judging people because they have no reality on what it's like to be this. Now, if you're this, after you've been through this, let's say you go through this, and then you're here, right? But you're not just here anymore. Don't you dare. You're not just here anymore. You're here with compassion and strength because this is underneath it. You've been here. You've been through this. You know? Elijah, I really don't want you on camera. Can you please get down? You're still congested. Come on, get down. Get down. Get down, baby. Get down, baby. Here, put this in your mouth. Try this.
No way.
Yeah, come here. Chew on this.
What is that?
It's clove. Come here. Open your mouth. You're going to bother me. I'm going to bother you. Open your mouth. Chew on this. Did you spit it out?
No.
Is it still in your mouth?
No.
Where is it?
No.
Like you tricky muffin. Where'd it go?
It's on the floor.
I don't see it on the floor.
Right there.
Good eyes. You have excellent eyes, Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, good. Now I can put it back in your mouth. Chew on this. Chew on this. Come here. Here, chew on this. Where'd it go? No, where'd it go? Did I put it in your mouth? Where'd it go?
On the floor.
There you go. Now chew on it. Not chew on it. Chew on it. Not chew on it. Yeah, just chew. Come here. Ah!
It didn't put it there well.
Hey, where'd it go?
That's on the floor.
Where?
Right there.
Where?
Right
Man, you have really good eyes. Oh, you like it, huh? Because you keep coming back. You must want it in your mouth. Chew on it. It makes your mouth kind of feel tingly. If you chew on it, it makes your mouth feel tingly. Try it. If you ever have a toothache or your mouth hurts, you chew one of these and it helps your mouth feel a little bit better.
What?
Here.
Down here.
Down there. Are you Woody the Woodpecker?
You want that?
Yeah, it's mine now.
No way. It's mine.
No, it's mine.
Mine.
No, mine.
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 Mine. Thanks for opening it for me.
I didn't open it.
Open it.
I did not open it.
Open it for me now.
I'll open it for myself.
No way.
Yeah. I want to eat it. It's mine. It's mine.
This is mine.
Give it back.
Thanks for opening it for me.
I didn't. Hey, there's the 9 of Cups again. Ace of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Somebody's going to be making an offer
Mom, can
when
I
you're
have
like
a
really doing
lollipop?
well with yourself.
Mom, can I have a lollipop?
Where is it?
Right on the floor, but behind you. Right here.
It's like when you're in your rebirthing stage. Potential through shadow work and then this like massive rebirth, right? I can't open it if it's on the floor.
Can you open this for me?
Yeah, I'll open it for you. But first I'm going to eat it.
No! Thanks for opening it for me.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Somebody going through their shadow work, and they don't just come out a butterfly, they come out a whole phoenix rising, you know. And they got 4 of Wands and 9 of Swords. Somebody is going to be really upset when they see you celebrating. But this is, you know, this is, where's the image? Hold on. You know what this is going to be? You know what this is?
No.
You have your thing here, right? And then you've got the guy who's feeling depressed because you elevated to the next level. So they're going to be depressed because you're at a frequency that they can't touch you at. You know? The world thinks they're just adorable kitties. 9 of Wands.
When there's
7 of
someone in
Wands.
there, they turn into Super Kitty.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. They're going to see you celebrating and be depressed about it, but they're not seeing all the work that you had to put in, all the things you've been through, near-death experiences, all the stuff you've been through to get there, and the persistence and the diligence that you put in. This stuff right here, when you look at this, look at the line in between each one. That line looks like just a line, but that line is no joke. That line is the shadow work. You have to go through layers of shadow work, which is this stuff. Fighting for your life, persisting through, and being determined through the most difficult of circumstances. When everybody's telling you there ain't no gold in them waters, there ain't no gold there. And you're like, I'm going to keep going. I know that there's gold here, and I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to keep pushing. And the next thing you know, you strike it rich, and everyone's like, what do you mean you struck it rich? That was mine. It's like, well, no, technically it was never yours because you never put the effort in. Right? You got to put in the work to reap the rewards. Illumination, personal growth, and happiness, leading to Queen of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles are really quite aligned, right? The Queen of Pentacles knows her worth. She knows what she's got. She knows how to share and give, right? She's all about personal growth. She's all about personal growth. She's all about happiness and illumination. That's the Queen of Pentacles is the 9 of Pentacles. But this is the Sun card. Well, where's the 9 of Pentacles? Oh no, 2 9 of Cups. Well, if you had the 9 of Pentacles, you would see that too. Why am I so jumbly right now? I'm not making any sense. Princess of Cups and a Prince of Wands. Third eye. Look underneath it. It's like 2 people appearing to be lesser than they are. This Princess of Cups is really a queen. This Prince of Wands is really a king. Two wands together. 10 of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. 10-10. It's like the wheel will be spinning in the favor of those. It's like once these 2 connect, the Wheel of Fortune spins. Which is cool. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm just talking a bunch of jumbled mess. So maybe this is done. Oh, I love these cards. I'm so happy. I'm already beating them up. A Knight of Wands. It's lots of Wands energy. Devil, seduction, fears, overabundance. It's like when you're in a lower level and you went through all that shadow work and you just arrive in the new level and you're looking already for the devil. But you're met with the King of Wands with no fear and happiness. And you're like, wait a minute, what's the catch? Sometimes there's no catch. Sometimes they're just lovely. Sometimes they're really just lovely. Death, endings, 6 of Cups. It's like celebrating with family in the new year, like moving away from that troubleness of who you once were and moving towards celebration of who you are becoming with your new soul family, your new soul tribe. Transformative healing of self. It's like you've done the work. It's like, it's like winning a battle and then the people who are still standing and you're looking at them like, or you're fighting a battle and you win with a bunch of orcs, right? And then somebody comes riding in on their horse and they're like, hey, man, look at what you've been through. Here, our castle's just up the road. Here, hop on and we'll come, you can have a rest and and some food and some fresh clothes. Like, we'll take care of you. And you're like, what's the catch? You know, like, I literally just went through a war with a bunch of orcs, and somehow I've survived, but I'm battered. And someone rolls up and says, you know, and they're perfectly pressed and they haven't been through any war, you know, they're living in a castle. And it's like the fairy king comes down and is like, come with me. And you're like, what's the catch? Like, is this like smiling in my face, but really you're evil? And it's like, no, I'm just the fairy king. And I see you've been through a massive war and you deserve to be celebrated and you deserve some rest. Come with me. Come with me and you'll see. Imagination. I don't know. You know, his grandson, Wilder's grandson, was the kid in the American version of Shameless, the eldest brother, you know, and he also now has a series called Bear, Bear, and it's like a kitchen show. And I was like, he looks so familiar, and now I see it, and that's his grandfather. You know, I don't know where that came from, but handsome guy, you know, really handsome guy. I keep seeing the third eye. Creation, third eye. 10 of Cups. Tower. 10 of Cups is the tower. The fairy king riding up on the horse is the tower. And you're like, whoa, what is this happiness you speak of? What is this happiness and peace and a nap and some really lovely food? What is this that you speak of? It's like, hey, we've got plenty of time to fight another orc war, you know? Come and take a break. Don't let your imagination screw you out of an amazing opportunity. Sometimes it's okay to chase the butterfly. 2 of Pentacles, balancing, juggling. Jester of Pentacles. Light worker. He's going to come across like just a Knight of Pentacles, just slow and kind of methodical, but he's really advanced. He's past putting, you know, there's a difference between being the king and being the person who observes the king, you know. And they come across as like the low guy on the totem pole, but they're not. They're not at all. It's like the brother that everybody counts out is the one that's actually more evolved and has a better...
I finished lollipop.
Oh my gosh. Uh-oh, pick that up, put it on your tray. Don't leave rubbish on the clean new carpet.
No, I'm gonna put it in the box where I put my stick.
Oh, that's a good idea. There's the Empress again, Wheel of Fortune. It's like once you have a rest and you're like, oh, she cleans up nice. It's like, yeah, she does. High Priestess. World of Possibilities. And the Ace of Wands. Your third eye can see it. You can see it. You know. Being in this 10 of Swords energy and focusing on all the people who stabbed you in the back is just allowing them to continually abuse you, but now it's your fault. You're doing it to yourself. If you keep allowing the trauma of the past to affect your current positive situation, that's on you. You know? Gene Wilder had a rough time. I remember something like that, but I can't remember exactly what it was that happened to him. But yeah, I remember them saying, like, he'd have it easy. I cannot remember for the life of me what his story was, though. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands twice. This is a good idea. This, like, whatever this is, it's going to give you a perspective shift. You know? You may have been working for one soulmate or one twin flame union or one healing experience. But because you went through the shadow work and did all the efforts and moved up, right? You're no longer compatible with who you thought was the one. Now there's a new energy, and you're a lot more compatible with it. Stop it. Yeah, but cuddling me and then poking me with your sharp toes is not the same thing. There's the King of Wands. Celebration. New Year's celebration. You might be spending New Year's with a new energy. Whether that is your new energy or the new energy of somebody else coming into your space. And now, here's the energetic match. The Queen of Wands. As you level up, your desires and your, so you move. You're like, oh, I'm Queen of Swords. I'm aligned with the King of Swords. And the next thing you know, you go through all this shadow work and you level up and you come into contact with the King of Wands. And you look in the mirror one day and you're like, wow, I'm the Queen of Wands. Like, I'm actually more of an energetic match with the King of Wands than I am with the King of Swords. Because you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of healing. You know? This triangle of information, how I explained this for everyone, this is free technology, free information technology. I created it, and I have not patented it. It's free. If anyone decides to try to patent it, I will come back with my oldest videos and show that whoever patented it has no right to it, and I will sue them for copyright infringement. Because these videos are technically like me doing a poor man's copyright. I created this literally on camera a year or two ago. I drew this up. I explained it to you guys. And I've done it a few times, drawn it up and explained it to you, drawn it up and explained it to you. But this information is incredibly helpful and useful. It helps to explain why people keep trying to force the fit down here when they're leveled up here. And it's like, but Joe is my person. And it's like, maybe he used to be when you were toxic. But since you've done a lot of healing, Joe is not your person. But yeah, you keep fighting for your limitations and you will receive them. Oh, but he's my soulmate and I need to be patient. I need to wait for him. You want to wait for someone down here to go through their shadow work and meet you up here. What if they decide they don't want to do that? You just be one of those alone people up here then. But if you crave a loving connection, you're just doing it to yourself. You know? Not everybody is meant for everybody. Not everybody is meant for a particular person all the time. You know? Seven of Pentacles. You know? Look at that root structure. Look at that root structure. And the plant hasn't even really begun. Look at all that work that's being put in underground. Look at that. You know, I know some people right now are heartbroken by what I've said because they know that it's true. But this is a victory. This isn't something to be heartbroken about. It's something to be you should be happy about. Do you mean we all aren't KR's soulmate? What? Well, I have other thoughts about that, but whatever. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. I'm not judging you. It's kind of like me as a prison guard watching you guys exchange drugs, and you think I'm going to call you guys out on it. And I'm like, you guys destroy yourselves. I don't care. You guys want to talk to me about it? That's fine. I'm not going to write you up. I'm not going to keep calling you guys out on all the shit you guys are up to. I don't care. Y'all are only hurting yourselves. Right? Now, hopefully, in the meantime, I can get some information into you guys that'll help you work through your shadow work and level you guys up. You know? Hopefully, I can help you guys level up. But, you know, it's really all up to you. It's all up to you. You know? All right, I'm going to go. There's a death here, like an actual physical death. A death of a 10 of Cups and a Lovers. Somebody is getting a divorce or ending a relationship. It's like, I'd rather be happy alone than in a lower frequency marriage. And maybe the person is like, there's nothing wrong with the spouse, right? Maybe there's nothing wrong with the spouse. They would prefer to go nowhere and do nothing. And the other spouse is doing all their shadow work. And they're like, I don't want to be stuck. I want to grow. I want to study. I want to do artwork. I want to travel. I want to do all these things. I don't want to be stuck in this toxicity anymore. So it looks like there's a divorce coming, or a separation, or a breaking up of something. The competition's coming in. Three of Cups, there's major competition coming in the romantic sense. There's creation. Sometimes, you know, it's like watching everybody else celebrate and you're kind of just like depressed by yourself, like, ugh. But you have to understand, like, those people aren't leveling up the way that you are. And again, you know, when they start seeing how successful and happy you are, they're going to be the ones in the depressed state. So, you know, the pendulum always swings. What was once up must come down. What once was down must go up. You know, stagnancy is not a very healthy option. You know, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. Somebody is really being reborn in the fire and the flames. You know, maybe they experienced a death in the family and they're like, you know what? Do I really want to live the rest of my life in this situation that's not working for me anymore? Somebody gained a new perspective by having this. You know what this is like? This is like a normie walking down the path saying, there's got to be more to life than this, right? And they run into an angel, right? They run into a spirit guide. They run into like a chosen healer. And that chosen healer takes a lemon and turns it into this most amazing lemonade they've ever had in their life. And it's like, and it gives them a perspective flip of a switch. Like, wait a minute, there is more to life. I can do different. I can be different. I can have different. You know? I do see somebody getting a divorce or breaking up or moving out. They feel trapped. And there's fear. And it's like, yeah, I have everything, but what is everything? Death and new beginnings. Somebody is ending something. Transformative healing of self. I feel like the death of somebody else close to a person is triggering them into some massive transformation. Like they're going to watch somebody else die and see how it was, how everybody who was there and what people were saying about the person and all this, and it's going to do something to them. And they're going to just like realize, hey, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to die like this. Is this all there is to life? I hope not. This is extremely transformative. This is somebody who's normally like steadfast and solid. It's like Knight of Pentacles and a Prince of Swords. Like they're sharp-witted, but they're steady, they're slow, they're solid, they're Emperor energy. They have strength and compassion. Like they've done everything the way that they're supposed to do it. You know? Lovers. Ace of Pentacles. There's a romantic offer coming in. It's Queen of Wands, man. Her energy is shifting. She's the Empress matching the Emperor. So the two of them are both shifting individually and together. I don't want to be alone, but I also don't want to be alone with somebody else. You know, which is better, being in a relationship and feeling alone, or just being alone, right? And what's better, being alone or being in a relationship where you're really happy? So it's like making those gradient steps toward, you know, celebration. Maybe even a wedding, maybe a marriage. Divorce leading to marriage. Breakup leading to togetherness. And and somebody is really upset about it. Hope and renewal. Possibilities. Well, yeah. So, you know what it's like? The person down here who's in this stagnant energy, who's being left, right? I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So the person leaves and starts leveling up to this. And maybe they meet a King of Wands energy, man or woman. It's just energy, right? They meet an elevated spirit. The person down here is like, wait a minute. What's wrong with me? They don't understand. It's not a physical elevation. It's a spiritual elevation. What does that man have that I don't have? What does that woman have that I don't have? You want to sit at home and watch TV and do the usual rounds of talking shit with friends on the weekends and going to on the same fucking holiday every chance you get. It's the same fucking thing all the time. That's not who I am anymore. It doesn't work with my soul anymore. My soul is up here. I want to work on projects. I want to go different places. I want to meet different people. I want to elevate myself. And this person is really upset and sad about it. Like, what did I do wrong? You did nothing wrong for maintaining the status quo at this base level, but you also did nothing right in terms of elevating yourself or your family unit. You maintained a stagnancy that you thought was that you were supposed to maintain. You know, it's like keeping up with the Joneses. And this person's like, that's not who I am anymore. And I don't know if it was ever who I was. And I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die down here. Even if I don't make it up here, I at least want to be striving to be better. You know? And then the wheel spins. The beat goes on. And the beat goes, that's the truth. Ace of Swords. The truth was spoken. Now the Chariot. They're in movement. They're determined. They're determined and they're pushing through. They're doing what they need to do because nobody wants to stay like this. I feel like this down here. And you don't want to elevate. And I'm telling you what I need. And you don't want to elevate with me. Which means I need to elevate by myself. And I can't take you with me. This is like me trying to explain myself to my family, and they're trying to keep me stuck in a reality that they believe in. And I'm like, that reality is stifling my soul, right? And then when I leave, they're all upset about it, mad at me, right? Mad at me for having different thoughts, different feelings, wanting a different reality. But it's like if I stayed, my soul would have been just crushed. You know? Same thing with relationships. Same thing with businesses and working positions and jobs and stuff, right? Same thing with friendship groups. Maybe they sit around all day and just talk shit all the time, and you're like, this is not who I am. I don't want to do this. I don't care about talking shit about other people. I want to be hanging out with people who want to elevate, who want to do fun stuff, who want to think about new ways of being, new ways of thinking, new ways of feeling. I want to go off with people who are trying to elevate and educate and evolve. I don't want to hang out with shit talkers all day long. This isn't my reality. I'm going to go.